friends and neighbors. Swaggy Man Popper 1926 here. Happy Monday to y'all. Hopefully it is a good Monday for you. It's going to be a hot one for me. It's kind of muggy here, and I'm on my way to southern West Virginia. Logan, to be exact. Horse and concrete. Smoking my Middleton's Mountaineer again. It's a nice little pipe. I was kind of hesitant at first. Needed a little bit of work at the stem, or not work, but it moved too freely around. I had to kind of widen that out just a hair. But it loves Carter Hall. Yeah, right. It loves Prince Albert. Carter Hall is okay, but in my book, Prince Albert beats that. Sorry for breaking everyone's heart. So, everyone doing all right? Have a good weekend, I hope. Mine, of course, was always busy. I need about 3 or 4 of myself to even try and catch up on everything I got going on, let alone get ahead. So, missed my turn. They're doing some road work on one of the little shortcuts, so I'm having to take what would be considered more the main road, and I missed my turn, so you know, it is what it is. Anyway, so this book shows up at my house, and I thought it was one of the little books that my boy gets. He's on the I can't think of what it's called, but if any of you all are familiar with, the Dolly Parton, she sends books, or you put your name on a list, and I can't think if it costs much or anything, but she'll send you a book. So I thought it was one of those books. It's not. The lady who runs the preschool where Russell went to, every year she does she writes it out, but she records the kids telling stories, and it's their favorite story, or one of their favorite stories, is the Bible. And that's what this book ended up being. Russell drew the picture, and it was a story. He tells a story, and the teacher writes it. Well, his story this year was the story of King Solomon and the two I call it the two mothers, but it's the one where the two ladies have a baby, or each have a child, and the one falls asleep and smothers the one and ends up killing it, is trying to steal the other mother's baby. Well, they go to King Solomon and say, who's the mother? And both of them say, well, I'm the mother. He said, okay, well, we'll cut the baby in half, and you each can have a piece. And the actual mother says, no, she can have the baby. He's like, well, there's your mother right there. But in Russell's version, he had it pretty square on. But he has one of the little child Bible books where it's not actually, verses, it's just telling the stories. So, in his version, he had it pretty spot on. But there toward the end, the King Solomon said, okay, well, we'll cut the baby. And the one lady said, no, she can have it. It says, there's the mother. And then his next words was, and it was the Queen of Sheba, which in the book, the progression of the stories, the next one is the Queen of Sheba. Solomon dealing with the Queen of Sheba, or something to that effect. So, yeah. So, with the upcoming, we'll call it little holiday. Next Sunday is Father's Day. I've been thinking about this. This is essentially the first Father's Day by myself. Most of you know, or all of you know, that we buried Dad last September. So this is kind of a special thing to me. Special, but kind of a sad, lonesome. But anyone who's ever buried a parent has an idea. So I was thinking, maybe we can get some Father's Day videos. Now, not posted necessarily on Father's Day, but how would you all, or I'd like to hear a good memory that you have with your parent, with your father, or if you are a father, tell us some moments of you and your child. A proud moment of you and your child. Like when I was 11 or 12, the church that we went to, they had a Father's Day dinner, and it was just father and son. But the pastor wanted us to get an embarrassing story of our dad, and then a good story or tale or something to tell. So the one that I told was when my dad and mom was courting. Dad had a little, like, John boat, little boat, and they went out fishing. And I don't know if I guess mom had never been on the boat fishing with Dad, or just never been on a boat fishing, period. And she told my dad, said, absolutely do not hook me. And Dad, of course, I'm not going to hook you, I know what I'm doing. And Dad goes to make a cast, and he drops the rod and reel back, and goes to kind of flick it out. Sure enough, caught her right there on the neck. Just barely, but he caught her. corn was about 1.5 feet tall. And those of you who've never planted sweet corn, regular corn, you have to get out there and hoe around the corn to kind of break up the soil, plus you're getting the weeds and stuff cut out. Well, my dad said, "You're old enough now, son, that you're going to help in the garden." Okay. And he showed me. He said, "This is how you hoe corn." And he worked the hoe around the stalk of corn. He said, "Okay, now, you do this whole row." "Okay, Dad." Well, after about the second or so stalk that I ended up cutting down, Dad took the hoe from me and said, "Go play." So, just here recently, a buddy of mine, or one of the guys that I work with, and I can't remember if I told you all this. I might have. Can't remember if I told you this last week or not. But one of the guys that I work with had me come and pick up some kind of trash, wood cuttings. He's been cleaning up some stuff around his house, and had me put it in the back of the van to take it over to my place. I was going to burn it. Well, it's evening. It's about dark. And Russell is insistent he's going to help me pull all that out of the van. He wants to help. Okay. So, I pull stuff out and set it there on the ground. He's not, it's not necessary for him to climb in the van. And he carries it over and we put it in the pile. And then I light a small fire to kind of go ahead and burn that down. And I'm just sitting there in a chair. I figured he went ahead and gone back inside. Yeah, he had. He actually had gone and got himself a chair and pulled it up next to me, and he wanted to sit there with me instead of going inside. Watch his little show or get ready for bed or anything like that. So that was kind of a proud moment for me. He knows that for now I still outrank his videos or his games or stuff like that. Have him want to spend time with me and sit and watch a fire. Well, folks, I hope you all take it and kind of throw in on this. I'd love to hear it. So you all take care of yourselves. Hopefully you're not going to get in the big summer like I am here shortly. Y'all stay cool and hydrated. Take care of yourselves. And remember, kindness costs us nothing.